Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to be with you. Happy New Year to you all. Obviously, New Year's was a few weeks ago. It's almost February, but I wanted to wish you all a Happy New Year. If you're new here, welcome. And I am going to be doing just a little chit chat. Get ready with me. I'm super excited to be back on YouTube. I changed my setup recently and I'm really excited to dive back in and bring you guys some more videos and content from my channel. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to start with my foundation, and of course I'm going to go in with a powder foundation because for my everyday looks, as you all may know if you have watched my previous videos, that I really prefer to use a powder foundation for like an everyday look just because it's fast and easy, and I feel like I get really good coverage with the powder foundation fairly quickly, and it's fairly buildable. And the one that I'm using is one of my favorites, which is the Maybelline Superstay Powder Foundation. I'm really super excited to try out the e.l.f. Powder Foundation, the new one, because it's vegan, cruelty-free, and it actually is talc-free. Well, okay, don't quote me on the vegan part. I believe I saw somebody talking about it saying it was vegan. I'm gonna have to look that up, but I really am super excited to try it out because e.l.f. is so affordable. I believe actually it's kind of similar in pricing to this one. This one is like, what, $12 or $13 or something, but I think the e.l.f. one was advertised that it was gonna be like $11 or something, which is not too bad. That's still like very affordable. So I'm really super excited to try that out because I love a good powder foundation for my everyday looks. And I usually just like to buff in the powder foundation. I kind of do a combination of pouncing, patting, and then sometimes I'll go in like circles. But I feel like I get the best out of it when I kind of like push it into my skin with the brush. And I really like to use a really tight, dense brush. This one is like from Target. It's I believe it's Up and Up brand. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It was just like a foundation brush, but I can't remember if it was called like a buffing foundation brush or something like that. But it's literally my favorite brush. When I use a different one for my foundation, especially powder, I like can totally tell the difference, and I'm like, I was trying to order another one the other day, but I couldn't find it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope they still sell it because it's literally like my favorite. So if you guys are new here, you may not know, but I recently, well, it's not that recent now, had a baby. He's actually now 10 months old. For those of you who already knew that, because you were on my channel, you obviously know that it's been a while since I posted a video. And I just want to come on here and kind of like just get ready with you guys and explain what's been going on. Obviously, you know, having a baby is something new. I already have 3 other children. So, I mean, in the beginning, it was kind of a struggle for me to, become like a new mom again. I mean, you're always a mom, but becoming a new mom again with a newborn is you know, hard to get used to get a routine and just all of that. So that was a little bit of a struggle for me. But I'm gonna go in now with my concealer. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. Mine is in 110 Fair. Oh, I forgot to tell you what color the foundation. The foundation that I have is 110 Porcelain. I can go a little bit darker in that one actually, but I usually just stay with the Porcelain one most of the time, and then I just bronze up my skin. But because I don't actually like tan or fake tan or anything like that, so I'm usually pretty fair. But anywho's, so yeah, it was just really hard to get, you know, used to being a new mom and getting a routine, and then like homeschooling with COVID and all that with the newborn. It was very challenging because, you know, it was good and bad in some ways. It was good because I didn't have to try to get my newborn up and out of the house and take my children to school with a newborn, which was a plus. But it was also a struggle because, you know, my youngest would be downstairs at the dining table homeschooling. Sorry, I'm making like all kind of weird faces, but and so I would be mostly taking care of, you know, the baby in the living room during the day and stuff, unless he was sleeping. But I would try to have him nap in the living room too, just because I wanted to be down here with my my youngest. Now I'm gonna go in with my powder. I'm gonna go in with the CoverGirl. This is the CoverGirl Clean 120 Creamy Natural, and I'm just gonna set my under eye with that. And so it was hard doing that because, you know, the baby would cry sometimes and stuff, and he had a lot of gas and whatnot. And so it was kind of a struggle because he would cry a lot, and I was breastfeeding. And, you know, any breastfeeding mother out there, you guys all know that breastfeeding is very difficult. Some people say it's just like second nature and it's so easy and convenient, and not really. It really is a task, and it really is something you have to dedicate to, and it really does take up almost all your time. And it was hard because it felt like as if I didn't have enough of a supply, and it was upsetting because he would cry and cry and cry, and he wouldn't sleep a lot in the beginning during the day and stuff. And so I was trying to find time after feeding him to get in. I'm just going to bronze up my skin with the e.l.f. This is the one that has a primer in it. This is the Forever Sunkissed. This is like literally one of my go-to everyday favorite bronzers. And I'm just going to use this e.l.f. angled blush brush to apply it. But so it was a struggle in the beginning. And then my mom got really sick, and it started from like May. Oh, by the way, I had my son in March, and it was hard because my mom, she got really sick, and it started in May, and she was in and out of the hospital from like May until October. And so I was there because I was the one that made her health decisions and everything for her. And I was there visiting her and taking care of her in the hospital. And my husband had to take time from our business and be home a lot to help take care, you know, of the baby. And my son was, let's see, he was only 2 months old when she started getting sick. My mom literally, from the time he was born, she literally only saw him one time before she started getting really sick and everything. And, you know, it was upsetting, and I started losing my supply. I didn't have a great supply to begin with for breastfeeding. Let's go there. But so my supply got worse and got less the more I would be at the hospital, because I would literally be there from in the beginning morning until night, a lot of the time, or morning until really late evening. And so my supply began to dwindle. I'm just going to use some blush. I've been really loving this blush. It's the Catrice Water and Sweatproof blush in 20 Glistening Pink, and it's like a really good like baby pink. I love this shade, and I'm just going to use this Eco Tools. I think this is either the blush brush or a powder brush. I can't remember which one it is. It doesn't say it on here. It came in like a set. So I'm just gonna lightly just apply this. But so that was a struggle, having a newborn and having my mom be so sick. And, you know, and then my supply kept going down and down, and they would have to supplement formula when I wasn't there if there wasn't enough breast milk. And so eventually, I think when my son was around 6 months, I basically had like no supply left, and I couldn't really pump at the hospital or anything like that. First of all, because it's during COVID time, you have to wear a mask, you have to be careful. And so I'm like, I didn't really want to have my breast milk, like go out to my car and like cross-contaminate. And then it was like, where do I store it? I didn't want to have to bring like an ice chest, and then would it be cold enough? And so it was just like a whole ordeal. And it was, I'm not gonna lie, some of that postpartum mommy emotions took over, and I was very upset, you know, that I'm gonna do my eyebrows. I'm gonna go in with the the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. This is obviously one of my favorite ones. You guys would know if you were already here. If you're new, you wouldn't know that. But I'm using the neutral brown. And so I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows. And so it was pretty upsetting for me because he was the baby I was able to breastfeed more than my others. He really actually took to it once he took to it, where my others kind of didn't. So I was kind of happy about that. And I was happy that I was able to do that for him. And then when my supply started to dwindle because of the lack of me being here in person, it really took a toll on me, and I kind of started feeling bad and, you know, trying to tell myself I'm not a good mother. You know, it's just all those emotions that mothers feel, like they're not a good mother because they didn't do this or that, or something didn't work out, you know. And then you try to tell yourself, well, you could have did this or you could have did that, but in reality, you're just being really hard on yourself, and there was nothing that you actually could have done. But I'm just glad that I got to breastfeed him even for that long, because like I said, that was pretty much longer than my others took to it. So I was really happy about that. So I had to start telling myself, you know, you did a good job. He got it for 6 months. Yes, he was getting supplemented formula here and there as well. But I tried not to beat myself up too much about it because of everything else that was going on. So it was just a lot. Obviously we all have things going on. We all had things going on during COVID. It was like, you know, a whirlwind of just like everything bad going on in the world. And then on top of that, you know, everybody has their own normal, you know, family problems or other kind of problems that were going on. Not everybody's life is so perfect. Obviously, we all have issues. We all have things that we're dealing with. So I'm not sitting here complaining and saying that my issue was any worse than anybody else's. Obviously, it's not. We all have things. You know, my husband, we didn't lose our jobs. We're self-employed. We did slow down a bit at some point, but then we picked back up. So I'm not saying that we were the most worse off people during COVID, but you know, just things that we're all dealing with. I'm just bringing it out there saying, yes, I had things I was dealing with as well as probably every single other person in the world. So it's just a lot. You know, some people have ways of dealing with things better than other people, and some people take longer to deal with certain things than others. So it's like, give yourself peace of mind and give yourself time, and know that just because this person, you know, was able to feel better about something faster than you doesn't make you a bad person. Doesn't make you, oh, like, oh my gosh, you know, who cares? You have to do you. However long it takes you to deal with something is however long it takes you to deal with something. And if people don't like it, that's just too bad. Everybody's different, and we all deal with things in our own ways. And not every way is right or wrong. I mean, obviously there are some kind of wrong ways to deal with things, like obviously never try to turn to drugs or alcohol or things like that. Some of us turn to food, some of us turn to things like that, which obviously is not a very good thing as well, because you can get very sick from that. But I mean, it's better than drugs and alcohol in a way. But so just take care of yourself in whatever way you can. And so I'm going to go in now with my highlighter, one of my favorite ones. This is the Wet n Wild Megaglo Highlighting Powder in Precious Petals. And what I'm saying is, you know, it took me some time to get used to everything and deal with everything and get back into like a routine. And this is literally my first video since I gave birth 10 months ago. And I know that's a really long time, but I needed time. I have nothing else to say, but I needed time, and I had to give that to myself. And so now I'm going to go in with my eyeliner. I'm going to be using the NYX Wonder Pencil in Light, and I'm just going to put that on my lower waterline just to kind of highlight it and be bright-eyed today. I typically, for like an everyday kind of makeup look, I typically go for this over like a black eyeliner and things like that. But just because I like to feel bright and wide awake, and I feel like this helps me to achieve that. I'm sorry, I have a lot of allergies. I think I need to change the filter in my heater is one reason. The other reason is because it hasn't rained here in quite some time. And it did rain, and so now all the grasses are blooming, and there's a lot of flowers and stuff. But I think that's a big part of it, is all the grass is bloomed and everybody's grass is growing like crazy. I'm just going to use my e.l.f. eyelash curler. This is like my favorite eyelash curler, and I swear I tried to buy it again, and I think they changed it, because now when I go in the stores and look for an e.l.f. eyelash liner, curler, why did I say a liner? I don't find this black one. I find just like a silver one, and I bought that one, but it's literally not the same. It does not feel the same. It doesn't do the same to my lashes. I'm like, what? Bring this one back. Anyways, now I'm going to go in with mascara, and I'm going to be using the Essence Lash Princess. This one is really, it's the one that's for false lash effect. I really have been loving this one. I really prefer these type of brushes. The one that's more like an actual old type of brush, like a bristle brush. I don't like the ones that typically look like plastic bristles. Those ones do not do anything for my lashes whatsoever, like at all. They don't give me volume or anything. I feel like it just like separates my lashes, but not in a good way. They look like separated and like clumped together, and I look like I have no lashes when I use a brush like that. So I typically go for these kind of brushes with mascaras. I'm so sorry about the sniffling, guys. It's really annoying. I took allergy medicine, but I've been taking, I usually take Zyrtec because I feel like it works a lot better for me than Claritin, but not lately. Ugh. So yeah, almost done with the mascara. I wasn't going to put any eyeshadow on today. I'm probably just gonna go with a simple kind of this everyday makeup look, which even sometimes on an everyday makeup look, I will use eyeshadow, but I'll just do like a neutral brown or something in my crease, or like I'll just take my bronzer and put it in my crease. So now I'm just gonna do the lower lashes, the faces we make when putting our mascara on. And then, lost an eyelash, great. Because if I have so many already, I'm losing them all over the place. So anyway, that's pretty much what's been going on with me, just trying to adjust. And I moved my filming area and stuff because I felt like I needed a different area, or, you know, kind of like setup to continue, because to be honest, I really hadn't been motivated with, I've been wanting to get back to doing my videos, but for some reason I was just lacking the motivation to actually like just do it again. And I think a big part of it was because I didn't know how to get started again, because it had been so long, and also because I don't know, I just felt like I needed a fresh like outlook. So I moved my filming area. I changed where I film. It's in a different room. It's a different setup. Like I'm literally right in front of a window now. Whereas before I was kind of like next to a window. My filming setup was literally next to my balcony sliding door. So now I'm just in front of an actual window. And I was like struggling on how do I place my filming in front of the window and still have area where I can see out the window and not be completely obstructed by my mess. So I think I have achieved that. So I'm happy with that, and I'm happy to get back to making videos. And so I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me with this chit chat, get ready with me, and have a little update on what's been going on, where I've been. Literally, my son is taking a nap right now. And so don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And if you really enjoyed my video, please, please do like it before you leave. And I will definitely see you guys in my next video. Bye.